J.D. Vance was there in person, saying of diversity efforts that were put in place following the murder of George Floyd.
We have relegated DEI to the dustbin of history, which is exactly where it belongs.
A new report reveals chaotic moments. A SpaceX rocket launch that ended in a fireball last January took place. ABC's Morgan Norwood.
According to the Wall Street Journal, debris rained over the Caribbean for nearly 50 minutes, causing a JetBlue flight heading to Puerto Rico to enter a holding pattern. 2 other aircraft, a private jet, and an Iberia Airlines plane declaring fuel emergencies and making the call to travel through the temporary no-fly zone. All 3 landing safely with 450 people on board. Iberia Airlines telling the paper its plane flew through the area after all the actual debris had already fallen. And JetBlue saying they're confident its flight safely avoided the debris.
SpaceX says no aircraft were put at risk. Several interest rate cuts this year have helped push mortgage rates down, and experts say that in turn helped boost home sales last month. Home sales up 0.5%. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit,
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
Good morning, 7:05 here at WSJM. I'm Zack East in for Ken Lundberg today and tomorrow, and it is my honor to push the right buttons this morning. I'm doing as much as I possibly can to make sure that happens. But Carrie Peugeot at WSBT, unfortunately pushing the warm button. She has found that we are going to be close to 50 when we get close to Christmas Day. As for today, we do expect some light snow this morning with cloudy skies this afternoon and highs near 42. Cloudy and 38 tonight. On Tuesday, we're expecting, again, cloudy skies around 42. And Wednesday, just about the same thing. Thursday, just about the same thing. Carbon copy of all of those parts and pieces of the forecast. It's 31 in St. Joe Benton Harbor, 24 in Berrien Springs, 29 in Niles, 32 up in South Haven, and we'll get to some news now with Andrew Green.
In the WSJM newsroom, I'm Andrew Green. Plaintiffs suing the city of Benton Harbor over alleged water issues from 2018 to 2021 are asking a judge to approve a proposed settlement. Under the agreement, the city would enter a $25 million consent judgment and transfer its right to pursue claims against its insurance provider. The plaintiffs would then take over that lawsuit, meaning no money would be paid by the city, its government, or its residents. Mayor Marcus Mohammed says the city and its officials deny any wrongdoing. City leaders say that they remain committed to meeting state and federal water quality standards and protecting residents. More information on the new agreement will be posted soon to BentonHarborWaterSettlement.com. Congressman Bill Huizenga is hoping health care legislation approved last week by House Republicans could become the basis for a broader effort to reduce costs for everyone after the new year. The GOP plan passed the House with no chance of approval in the Senate because it did not include an extension of expiring Affordable Care Act subsidies. Huizenga says it instead would reduce insurance premiums for the average American by about 11%. He adds the ACA subsidy system, including the COVID-era subsidies, only affects about 7% of people with coverage, and that many enrollees, about half of the 24 million signed up, have never used their insurance.
When we've got half of the people that are signed up not even utilizing it, that indicates that there's some real problems. One of the other problems that has been discovered is that there are millions upon millions of accounts that are not attached to Social Security numbers or to individuals, and we believe that that's fraud.
Huizenga says his hope is the GOP legislation can become part of a broader plan in the coming year.
We've got to address the ACA part of this, but we also have to address why health care for everyone else has just exploded and become even more unaffordable.
The House Republican plan, called the Lower Health Care Premiums for All Americans Act, would also expand association health plans, lower premiums for some ACA enrollees, and seek to reduce drug costs. Huizenga adds a vote is still expected next year on extending COVID-era subsidies through a discharge petition, although that would happen after the subsidies have expired. The Berrien County Board of Commissioners has honored a longtime assistant prosecutor as he heads into retirement. Jerry Viansky started working for the prosecutor's office in the fall of 1990, serving as an intern, and was later hired full-time as an assistant prosecutor after passing the bar. Speaking at a meeting, County Board Chair Mac Elliott said Viansky then started a 35-year career of public service that had many highlights.
Throughout his distinguished career, Jerry handled thousands of cases, ranging from local ordinances to misdemeanors to serious felonies, including nearly 100 jury trials. Notably, he prosecuted 11 first-degree murder cases, including the 1993 Tracy Martin case, which marked the first time DNA evidence was introduced at trial in Berrien County.
Viansky grew up in Bridgman, graduating from Bridgman High School and later graduating from Hope College and Valparaiso University with a law degree. During his tenure with the prosecutor's office, Viansky contributed to the county's drug court for several years and has served as a senior attorney in the Niles office for the past decade. He retires at the end of this year. The board approved an honorary resolution thanking him for his service last week. And 4th District Democratic congressional candidate Jessica Schwartz has ended her campaign. The Kalamazoo attorney says she'll instead now run for the Michigan House in the 41st District. Schwartz had been running for the seat currently occupied by Congressman Bill Huizenga. Schwartz says her decision to drop out came after careful conversations with family and supporters. She thinks she can make the biggest difference in the state house. Schwartz added that she hopes to flip the state house from red to blue. The 41st State House District covers part of Kalamazoo County. In the WSJM newsroom, I'm Andrew Green.
Sports on the Michigan News Network.
Well, it appears that we will not get playoff football in Detroit this year after the Lions' 29-24 loss to Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers last night. After trailing 22-10 in the fourth quarter, the Lions found a way to climb all the way back and get the ball trailing by 5 points with 2 minutes to go. Detroit went on what would have been a game-winning drive and scored a touchdown twice, both of which were called back for offensive pass interference. While the result of the failed comeback stung, the Lions lost because they gave up 230 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns while only rushing for 15 yards themselves. Jahmyr Gibbs ran the ball a measly 7 times. That's the lowest in his career since week 2 of his rookie season. The Lions' playoff chances have now dwindled all the way down to just 8%. It's pretty simple. They need to win their last 2 games against the Vikings and Bears and need the Packers to lose their final 2 games against the Ravens and the Vikings. To make matters worse, the Lions' loss clinched a playoff berth for the Chicago Bears as well. I'm Brendan Shabath for the Michigan News Network.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough, but if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. The Alzheimer's Association provides care, support, and research to help you take control of the situation with your family and manage the disease together. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
With fiber internet from Midwest Energy and Communications, your entire household can work, learn, and play online all at the same time. No more deciding who gets to use the internet when. No more spotty FaceTime calls with grandma and grandpa. No more missing out on shows you can't stream. Plus, all packages include the router, parental controls, and virus protection at no additional cost. Get the best internet from a local team of rural Michiganders serving rural Michiganders. Compare packages and check your eligibility at teammidwest.com. That's teammidwest.com.
Hi, everybody. Pat Moody with another edition of Moody on the Move, taking you behind the scenes to businesses, organizations, and people all across the region. Today, we take you deep into the heart of Nobo, the top-of-the-line vertical integrator of recreational cannabis in Michigan's Great Southwest and beyond. When Michigan legalized adult-use cannabis 6 years ago, the first and finest performer to market was the team here at Nobo. Still outperforming the market, Nobo is the star of what is now called the Fresh Coast. And with me today is Kathy. Let's talk about how Novo grabbed the top rung of the ladder, Kathy, and just continues to soar. Give us a peek behind the curtain.
Well, one thing that we're very proud of here is how we do things. We started right at the beginning of when everything took place and became legal. For us, it was about starting fresh and making an impact in the community, and that is something we have not stopped doing. We have the freshest quality product coming into our stores every month. So from seed to sale, we're about 10 to 11 weeks, and then you'll see that product. So when someone says that, they want the freshest quality ingredients in their products, we have that, whether it's in our gummies, in our actual flour that we sell, our vape carts, it's always the freshest product that is available in the market. And we love to continue to grow the company, and that's one of the reasons we've started it where we have.
Moody on the Move is made possible by our friends at Campbell Ford in Niles, where they promise the best bottom line is always at the state line. And you can also watch again anytime online at moodyonthemove.com.
Happy starts here. You've heard us say that many times about South Bend International Airport. Happy starts here. That's a big claim, but we stand by it. I mean, just look at the things people say online about SBN. They're happy about the smooth experience. They're happy about the parking. They're happy about the seating. One person was even happy about going through security. When have you ever heard that? Getting away should be a happy thing, and that's just what we do at SBN. FlySBN.com. Happy starts, well,
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies today. Couple of flurries this morning. There's a chance of rain later today. In between, we'll hit 40 for the high. Tonight, we'll see scattered rain showers, especially this evening. We'll drop down to 35 overnight. And then for tomorrow, a mix of the sun and clouds. High temperatures back up at 43. 45 on Christmas Eve and 55 on Christmas Day. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
Good morning. Coming up on 7:16, I'm Zach East in for Ken Lumberg today and tomorrow. And Carrie Peugeot says it is going to be a bit toasty for the next several days and into Christmas Day. She says, as you heard there, we have that chance of some snow this morning, but we'll be hitting the potential of 46, maybe even near 50 coming up for Christmas Day. So very fun and exciting. 31 right now in St. Joe, 24 in Berrien Springs, 29 in Niles, about 33 in South Haven. And we're happy to welcome in the studio this morning and on our live stream at WSJM.com on the Facebook and YouTube channel, our friends from Emergency Shelter Services here in Berrien County. Joining us this morning are Amanda Rush, also Bridget Kuglin, and who happens to be the ESS board president, and Natalie Pulaski, who is a board member. Amanda, also a member of the board here. Good morning to all of you.
Hello.
Appreciate you being here. Yeah, absolutely. So again, full disclosure, my full-time job is with United Way of Southwest Michigan. ESS is one of the impact partners that receives funding from United Way. So when Ken told me that I got the chance to fill in today and tomorrow, I said, well, I know plenty of people to talk to across Southwest Michigan who have great stories to tell. ESS is definitely one of those organizations. So, Bridget, could you tell us a little bit about what Emergency Shelter Services does? I think people can glean a little bit from the name, but it's pretty diverse, the amount of things that you're really covering in the community, right?
It really is. And one thing that I think is so interesting is, Emergency Shelter Services has been operating in the area for a very long time, since about 1978. Started under another name, but essentially has been doing its same mission of working to prevent homelessness and provide access to stable, sustainable housing ever since, for a very long time. And it's really interesting, they do all of this great work but so many people still don't know about it. So we're so grateful for the opportunity to be here and just spread this awareness of the organization. But
And-
yeah, working to prevent homelessness in Berrien County.
And you have a lot of different parts to the organization that I think, we'll talk about some of those parts and pieces, but it is more than just the intake of the shelter and the work that you do there. The public would probably know you best for 6 Degrees, right?
Right. So we have 3 parts to our organization. One of them is 6 Degrees, which is our resale store. We like to call it the resale boutique. But it's a wonderful place where, all of the community donates gently used home goods, home decor, furniture, and then those items get shined up, put back on the sales floor, and then becomes a resource for the community. So, it's a great place to go pick up some thrifted Christmas gifts, but also for our clients, when they find a new home, they are able to go there and get a set of silverware. They really have nothing at that point to fill their new home that they've been placed in. So, a set of bed sheets or a pair of boots for their kids, they can come to this store as well and benefit in that way.
I just love that. It is probably because I've been, I would say, an avid thrifter for most of my life. I don't know where I learned it, but
it's great. It's a good habit. It's a good trait.
It is, and
Absolutely.
especially, and just knowing, of course, that those proceeds end up, really helping families here in Southwest Michigan and staying incredibly local in this case. And speaking of incredibly local, we were talking a little bit off mic about how important it is to remember that organizations like this, whether folks are going to 6 Degrees and making those purchases, but also when they're doing end of year gifts for, some of the organizations that are near and dear to their hearts, but maybe they don't know certain organizations and the work that they do. Part of the reason we're bringing you on here is to have those conversations. But this, any nonprofit is probably going to have an interesting 2026 based on all the changes that have happened in federal and state funding, and certainly the availability of grants, the availability of other, donations that come in. So end of year donations for ESS are probably pretty important, right?
Yes, very important. Donation, our funding has been greatly impacted, as you just mentioned. And our community has always been so supportive of emergency shelter services. But truly, with that uncertainty in the future from some of our more federal grants, we're just not sure what's going to be available, as it has been for so many years in the past. So with that uncertainty, we are looking more and more to how can we really make ourselves present within the community, let people know that we are here and that those needs are more important than ever before.
So as you've you kind of talked a little bit about some of the work that the shelter does, there's a whole process to somebody dealing with intake or trying to get service. Does a lot of that end up starting with unfortunate situations, as you will?
Absolutely. I mean, the one really interesting thing ever since, getting involved with this organization, something that has come to light is that, homelessness can happen to anybody.
Yeah.
Maybe people have a certain idea of what they think an unhoused person is like, but truly it can happen to anyone. It's one lost job, one health crisis. Maybe somebody doesn't have a support network like so many of us are so blessed to have. Not everybody has that. So it really can just happen very quickly, and people are just put in a hard spot, and emergency shelter services is there to make sure that they have that pathway into finding stable housing once again.
So in a lot of cases, the shelter itself is also not just taking in typically individuals. If I remember correctly, you're also the only family shelter in Berrien County, right?
That's correct. So we are a women and family shelter. One thing that I think is really special about the shelter that Emergency Shelter Services runs is, sometimes you think of a shelter as just, a building and maybe there's some beds and stuff, but this truly is a home.
Yeah.
And I credit the people who have been there, some of them for 28 years. Shout out to Rochella Hawkins. She's our executive director, but she started working at the shelter, and it's her and her team that really make this a place of healing for these women and their families as they come through during one of the hardest times of their lives.
That's just awesome to hear, and I appreciate being able to hear a bit more about it. Do you have any insights for the future about what you'd like to do to be able to continue to help the community, but perhaps grow and expand any services or anything like that?
Well, I know right now we are working really hard towards renovating the kitchen in the shelter itself. As I said, the shelter is a beautiful home. The kitchen is one area that is a little bit dated, and it's so vital that the kitchen is the heart of the home, right? So this is a place where the families who are staying there really come to connect with each other, connect with their caseworkers. They do a lot of meetings there where they are figuring out what programs they'll be utilizing, where they'll be learning the skills to, again, get back into stable long-term housing. So yeah, we're working on that kitchen renovation pretty hard, and a couple of other programs as well.
Well, that's a good place to pick up here after this break in just a second and to find out more about what's going on inside that kitchen that also got some help here recently as well. Mm-hmm. So we'll talk about that in just a second. It's about 7:24 here at WSJM.
Would you call free checking that pays you cash back on purchases unbelievable? No. It's free checking called Thrive Cashback, and it also gives you free ATM access nationwide every month you qualify, with no monthly fees ever. Get your Thrive Cashback account at a Sturgis Bank office near you, or visit us at sturgis.bank to learn more. Qualifications, rules, and limitations apply. Rates, rewards, and restrictions may vary by account. Contact Sturgis Bank for details. Member FDIC.
Hi, everybody. Pat Moody with another edition of Moody on the Move, taking you behind the scenes to businesses, organizations, and people all across the region. Today, we take you deep into the heart of Nobo, the top-of-the-line vertical integrator of recreational cannabis in Michigan's Great Southwest and beyond. Moody on the Move is made possible by our friends at Campbell Ford in Niles, where they promise the best bottom line is always at the state line. And you can also watch again anytime online at moodyonthemove.com.
Emmanuel means God with us. The powerful promise that God didn't stay distant, but came near in Jesus. In his birth, God revealed his heart, broke the power of guilt and shame, and brought hope into a broken world. Emmanuel reminds us that we're never alone. God has come close. Join First Church of God this Christmas Eve for the live service broadcast right here on WSJM at 5:30. The promise of Emmanuel brings hope to all.
Add a luxurious look to your home this holiday season with help from Menards. MS International has a great selection of tile to update your home. Beautiful and durable ceramic and porcelain tile adds timeless elegance and style to any floor or wall. 12 by 12 Terra tile is only 99 cents each, now through December 24th. Stop in today and check out all our flooring options, and check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-798-3399. That's 800-798-3399.
This Christmas, get a bonus AI Essentials course when you enroll in any My Computer Career IT program by the end of the year. That's a $3,900 value. Attend classes online or on campus. Enjoy lifetime job placement support and IT certifications in high demand. Go to mycomputercareer.edu today and take the free career evaluation. That's mycomputercareer.edu. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Conditions apply to AI offer, and financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the GI Bill.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultrafine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
When it's snowing, when it's blowing, and you still gotta go, it's nice to know there's someone you can call. When you're in the ditch, and brother, you're in deep, Hassie's Towing and Crane Service will be there for you. From small cars to double trailer semis, Hassie's has the equipment and the know-how. Call 927-3681 24 hours a day. For over 66 years, Hassey's Towing, the most trusted and reliable towing service in Southwest Michigan.
The Bloomberg Business Minute on WSJM is brought to you by Sturgis Bank and Trust. Let's grow together. Serving Berrien Branch, Kalamazoo, St. Joseph, and Van Buren counties. Now with 2 new locations in St. Joseph, downtown, and on Cleveland Avenue. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Target says its online operations are back in action after a technology outage that disrupted the retailer's digital order pickup, returns, and other functions on Friday. The retailer pointed to a third-party system error without providing specifics. It's an important time for Target, which is looking to reverse a lengthy slump and return to growth. Checking in on Wall Street, stocks are kicking off the week looking at a higher open, building on Friday's gains. The New York Stock Exchange will shut down early on Wednesday and be closed for trading on Thursday for the Christmas holiday. And buy now, pay later loans have long been built as a way to make large or sudden purchases more affordable without signing up for long-term debt. Morning Consult found that 1 in 4 American shoppers paid for a purchase last month with a buy now, pay later loan, the highest rate on record. Growth has been fueled by an uptake in older shoppers who've been slower to use the service. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
I guess I'm the and friends portion of this. 7:29 here at WSJM. I'm Zack, in for Ken today and tomorrow. And Carrie Peugeot tells us that it is going to be, well, somewhat toasty through the rest of this week. We'll top out at about 41 today with light snow expected this morning and up to some cloudy skies later this afternoon. We're talking with Emergency Shelter Services, and Bridget, Natalie, and Amanda are all in the studio this morning. And before we get to news real quick, I want to just kind of expand upon what we were talking about before we went to break, and that was how important the kitchen really is at the shelter itself. There's a lot of in and out in there, I'm sure, all day long. And so you've been working to kind of replace the aging parts of what's in the kitchen at the moment. And as part of my other work at United Way of Southwest Michigan, the question was asked, is there a chance that there are some appliances that Whirlpool and United Way can donate? And that's where hopefully we got the chance to make some impact for that kitchen here. Can you tell us a little bit about the ask that you had, Amanda?
Well, absolutely. We have a community commitment to remodel the kitchen from 2025 to 2026. And one of the things we needed was appliances, because the kitchen is pretty outdated and some of the appliances simply do not work anymore. And so I was starting, where can I ask? And started asking, and I got linked up with United Way, because Whirlpool had donated appliances for their United Way sale. And I was like, hey, maybe, the shelter is a recipient of United Way, and maybe we can make this happen. So I started reaching out, and luckily I got a yes, and I looked through the list, and we needed a refrigerator, a range, and a dishwasher. And sure enough, I was so excited that they were on the list, and I got a yes. And so I don't know, everything just started happening, and we got these appliances, and they've got them in the shelter, and it's going to be wonderful. We've got a donation to replace flooring and cabinetry. And so now we've got these beautiful new stainless steel appliances, and it's just going to be awesome in the kitchen. I mean, just think about in your home, where do you usually hang out a lot? You're hanging out in the kitchen, and the kids are doing homework, you're cooking, you're preparing that meal. And now we're going to be able to provide that for these people that are, rebuilding their life. And that kitchen, has very many families. It's not just one family sharing. There's so many, and now they're going to have these wonderful appliances to help them while they're hanging out with their family, cooking meals, making some new memories, rebuilding their life. And the shelter employees are there to help support them. And, they use this place, to meet with their caseworkers, and it's just going to be so wonderful to see this come together.
Well, I'm glad that, Whirlpool and United Way could get together and kind of find some things that worked, especially for your space. Because if anyone's seen the pictures, it's a bit of it's a little tight, but I'm glad that a lot of those things that especially would be, just a quite reliable and very high end are going to stay there for quite some time and do the work that needs to be done for the ins and outs. I mean, everybody's kitchens are active, but I imagine there's quite a bit of activity every day.
Well, and there are the shelter has 28 beds.
Wow.
So, and it is almost always full, especially when we get into this colder weather. The shelter is at capacity all the time. So thinking, you think of all those people. Yes, the kitchen can get quite cozy. They do have a great layout. There's really kind of 3 kitchens kind of combined into one larger room. But as you can imagine, that means different families are making different meals, but then all coming together to eat. And as Amanda said, work with, caseworkers. Okay, what programs do I need to gain the skills that will, again, get me into that long-term stable housing? So it's a very important space, and we're so grateful for these donations.
So we'll talk more about that and more of the ways in which your donations can go pretty far here for emergency shelter services locally. Coming up here in just a bit, it is 7:34 and time for ABC News.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The Coast Guard today pursuing another ship, it says, as part of the dark fleet that's running illegal oil in and out of Venezuela. U.S. forces have seized 2 sanctioned oil tankers, the latest coming over the weekend. More from ABC News senior White House correspondent Selena Wang.
President Trump has been warning for weeks now that land strikes targeting drug traffickers inside Venezuela could be coming soon, saying this week that he's not ruling out war. So lawmakers are now pressing the administration for clarity, asking what the real end game is here. Is it about oil, drugs, or regime change?
Storms and flooding in Northern California now blamed for the killing of 1 person in the city of Redding. More rain is on the way all the way down into Southern California for this week. Steelers receiver DK Metcalf under investigation from the NFL after an incident on the sideline of last night's game in Detroit. Cameras caught him apparently talking to and then taking a swipe at a fan who had talked about his name. This is ABC News.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
It is just about 7:36 here at WSJM, and we'll cover some local news with Andrew Green coming up closer to 8 o'clock. Right now, state news with Michigan News Network.
The Michigan News Network.
I'm Ryan Recker. In November, the former bookkeeper of a West Michigan nonprofit was sent to prison for conspiring to embezzle over $1 million. Now a second person pleading guilty to federal charges. Dr. Nkechi Eza, former CEO of the Early Learning Neighborhood Collaborative, pled guilty to commit wire fraud and tax evasion. Wood TV reports she must pay an estimated $1.4 million in restitution plus $400,000 in back taxes. The pair cost 35 people their jobs and left West Michigan families without needed services. Detroit Pistons announcing the rapper Big Sean has been named the team's new collaborative director of global experience, multi-platinum artist who is from the west side of Detroit, previously served as the Pistons creative director of innovation. And a relic from the Edmund Fitzgerald has been sold at auction for $150,000. A life ring and a lifeboat remnant from the famous sunken ship. I'm Ryan Ranker for the Michigan News Network.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. If you're struggling with mental health, you should know that there are resources out there that can help. And it's okay to talk about it if you need to. One place to get started with information is loveyourmindtoday.org. Loveyourmindtoday.org offers a range of guides, instructions, and insights for dealing with difficult situations or getting through a tough time. If you're struggling with mental health, get the help you need, because most people out here really care. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
The New England Patriots are back in the playoffs for the first time since 2021, dealt a near-death blow to the Ravens' playoff chances after recovering a Zay Flowers fumble late in the fourth quarter, clinching a 28-24 victory over Baltimore on Sunday Night Football. Drake May with 386 passing yards and 2 touchdowns for the Patriots on what it meant to clinch a playoff spot.
Yeah, that was one of the goals. You kind of win the division. That's still kind of what we're fighting for, and that's it's awesome to clinch the playoffs, but we want to win the division.
The Ravens, meanwhile, will now need to win the division to make the playoffs, falling to 7-8 on the year. Now have to figure out if they'll have Lamar Jackson for their final 2 games of the season. He left Sunday's game with a back injury in the first half and did not return. The Chiefs continue to lose quarterback a week after losing Patrick Mahomes to an ACL tear. Backup Gardner Minshew may have suffered the same injury in a 26-9 loss to the Titans on Sunday. Minshew sustained the injury on the third play of the game in a non-contact injury. He tried to continue but left after completing just 3 of 8 pass attempts. In a battle of division leaders, the Jaguars went into Denver looking to break Denver's 11-game win streak, and the play of Trevor Lawrence made the overlooked Jaguars start to look like contenders in the AFC.
2 receivers left, 1 to the right. ETN, the running back, shotgun for Trevor. Dropping, looking, throws another back for that's ETN. Tries to make him a miss, goes to the 5. Johnson, goal line, touchdown! 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 A 10-yard touchdown pass to Travis Etienne. The Jags have extended the lead. How good is that?
1010 XL 92.5 FM with a call. Lawrence, 279 yards passing, 3 touchdowns in the air, 1 on the ground, led the Jaguars to their 11th win in a 34-20 runaway victory over the Broncos. Jaguars head coach Liam Cohen on if this win can help change their narrative.
We don't care. We really don't care about the narrative. I'm sorry to say that, but it's only helping us. So I want the narrative to keep coming.
Offensive pass interference penalty erased go-ahead touchdowns for the Lions. Aaron Rodgers, 260 yards passing in the win for Pittsburgh.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-822-1490. That's 800-822-1490. 800-822-1490.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
It's important to give back because there's so many things that happen in everyday life that is just out of our control. We decided to have a full page just dedicated to the charity of the month, wolffinancialadvisory.com, to get awareness to anybody who may be visiting our page, to learn more about them, and also hopefully donate.
My name is Christine Murray. I'm the founder and executive director of Heart of God. It came from a broken place in my own life. Our mission is to walk alongside these women. We want them to come to recovery meetings if that's what they need. If the steps that they need to get there, that's where Heart of God comes in and we fill in that gap.
Investment advisor representatives of and securities and advisory services are offered through USA Financial Securities. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Wolf Financial Advisory, Heart of God, and USA Financial Services are not affiliated entities.
When it's important to you, it's important to us. Wolf Financial Advisory.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies today. A couple of flurries this morning. There's a chance of rain later today. In between, we'll hit 40 for the high. Tonight, we'll see scattered rain showers, especially this evening. We'll drop down to 35 overnight. And then for tomorrow, a mix of the sun and clouds. High temperatures back up at 43. 45 on Christmas Eve and 55 on Christmas Day. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
I'm Zach Easton for Ken Lundberg this morning, 7:43. And as Carrie Peugeot mentioned, it's going to get a little bit warm and then warmer as we get throughout the week. We're at 32 in South Haven, 31 in St. Joe, 24 in Berrien Springs, and just about 30 in Niles right now. And talking to emergency shelter services who have joined us in the studio this morning. We have Bridget and Natalie and Amanda who are all on the board here and working very hard to make sure that emergency shelter services and all the arms and bits and pieces that work within it are doing incredibly well and great work here so that the families that use the shelter can certainly use the services that are provided. So we've been talking a bit about a piece of that arm, and that is the 6 Degrees resale shop. We've certainly had some folks on our live video stream ask some questions, so I want to make sure we get to this piece. But tell us a bit about the shop and what its mission happens to be, because it's quite a unique one, as we talked about earlier this hour, but I want to kind of cover that.
Yeah, so the resale shop is located right in the heart of downtown Benton Harbor at 53 West Wall Street. And just like Bridget said earlier, it's a great little thrift shop. Not little, it's actually quite big.
Yeah.
A nice sized thrift shop, and we have all kinds of furniture items, household goods, knickknacks. There's some clothing. I mean, anything that you'd find in a regular thrift shop. And then all the proceeds go back into the work that ESS does and into the shelter and all of the things that are needed there. So just a really important piece of the puzzle for ESS.
And was it safe to say, because I feel like as a person who shopped there for quite some time, that there's a fair amount of stuff sometimes that gets donated from like estate sales and other, where you're taking in a large amount of stuff all at once, and that's getting put to use pretty quickly, right?
Oh, yeah. And then one thing that I think we started recently is doing donation drives at like certain locations in the community. So if anybody's interested in hosting our box truck, folks can stop by and drop off items that maybe they don't use anymore that are collecting dust, and we can repurpose them and put them up for sale in the thrift store.
That's a really good idea. And speaking of that truck, if somebody has a donation they're interested in, giving to you, do they have the option of having the truck come pick up, especially some of those larger items?
Yeah, they sure do. We have a complimentary pickup service, so you can call 269-927-6060, the resale shop, and we will come and pick up the items that you are looking to get rid of. Is
it like a radius of where you'll serve at all? Or
I think it's anywhere in Berrien County.
Berrien
County.
All right. So whoever's at the edge of Eau Claire, if you're listening to this, please, they'll get that couch that is in, gently worn shape, but certainly still usable by another family. Those are the kinds of things that you're looking for. But also, as you said, even the smaller stuff that matters to filling out a new space for a family that's kind of maybe restarting their life, they're going to need some of the essentials. So that stuff is important too, right?
Absolutely.
So the other pieces, bits and pieces that also seem to be important, and again, because I'm an avid thrift shopper, I seem to see an interesting amount of clothes that folks donate. Those are incredibly helpful, right? Because folks sometimes leave situations where they literally only have the clothes on their back. In that
Absolutely,
case.
yes. We do accept clothing donations. We are often looking for, obviously everything needs to be resellable. Some of your gently worn clothing items, but yeah, often those will, if a family comes in and they don't have anything, they only have the clothes on their back. The first place they go is the team takes them to 6 Degrees, and then the family is able to gather some items that they don't have, especially in the wintertime. We've recently had a great amount of donations of coats and boots, which are so vital for families that need them in this type of season, especially. Despite the weather getting warmer, it will get cold again and they will need it. So,
well, and as those of you with families know, there's always going to be that chance where, of course, when the kids experience these sorts of days where it's 45 or whatever, they do the convincing to their parents that they don't need the coat.
Right.
And then that somehow goes for the next 3 months that they try to use the same excuse. Unless they're outside for more than 10 minutes, then they miss that coat quite a bit.
Exactly.
So maybe don't donate all the things you think the kids aren't using. There's a chance you could use them. But this store really has been near and dear to my heart for years. As many of the things that I had in my old house, I donated over time. And it's just so heartwarming to know that a lot of this stuff is going to people who just, again, need that reset in their life. And again, in most cases, it might be coming from some situations where it's somewhat immediate. And again, it's clothes on your back is all you have. You don't necessarily maybe even have access to the things that you left somewhere. Mm-hmm. You may never see them again.
Absolutely.
That's part of what ends up happening in some of these situations. With the resale store as well, even if folks don't have physical things to donate, there's still a chance they could probably stop by and donate some cash as well, right?
Absolutely. Always, of course, accepting monetary donations. We're always so grateful for that. Another thing that has been really wonderful, we've had a lot of youth groups come in, and just as a volunteer thing that they do, they'll come in during closed hours and they'll help us sort of resort the store. We have an incredible team that works at 6 Degrees, but it's only 3 people and they work their tails off. But that's a lot for just 3 people to do all of that. So we've had youth groups come in. So there's also service hours or service projects that can happen as well.
So if folks want to get to perhaps their church group, their youth group, as you said, signed up for those sorts of things, do they just contact you or Volunteer United website, or where do they go?
Yeah, so the best place for something like that would be to reach out to the Connection, which is our administrative offices, and that number is on the website. But you can just reach out there and tell them, what your group does, what you're interested in doing, maybe if it's something around the shelter or if it's something at the store. But we will always have some area where we could certainly use some help. And again, the community's been really wonderful, and we've been picking that up. So it's been great to see more kids get involved and groups around the community. So we really appreciate that.
So the website, by the way, is essberrien.org. And if you head to the website, there's plenty of information on how to volunteer in the About section. So head on over there and check that out. And you can also call the office at 925-1131. Again, 925-1131. Perhaps don't call at the moment because most of you are here. And it's still about 7:50. And coming back, we'll talk a little bit more with Emergency Shelter Services next on WSJM.
Insurance Management Service, your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and Niles.
Hi, this is Brett Witkowski. In February, our daughter and son, they had their first baby. So we had a grandson. As I was driving back from Wisconsin, I got hit by a F-150 with a snowmobile trailer. And then I slammed into a Skidmore at 55 miles an hour head on the highway. Thankfully, I lived through it. Within 15 minutes, Tarek was on the phone with me, helping me navigate how I was going to get home, what to do with the car. They did a great job. Tarek probably talked to me 3 to 4 times on a Sunday night. 3 to 4 weeks, everything was settled on the insurance side, including getting me reimbursed for car rentals until we were able to get a new car. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find somebody else that's going to pick up the phone and get back to you on a Sunday night to make sure that you're set and that your family's okay, to be able to have that type of response and have it happen that quick and have me at peace of mind. IMS is awesome.
IMS, an auto owner's insurance agency in St. Joseph and Niles.
Every now and then I rinse it out, and I need Downy rinse tonight, and I need it more. I can't rest the bed and the smell never leaves. I don't know what to do. I'm always in the dark. The sweat and that short smells like a dog car. Downy rinse it tonight.
Downy Rinse fights stubborn odors in just one wash. When impossible odors get stuck in,
rinse it out.
You work hard.
come home tired, you're a dad, a protector. You've got that firearm for your family's safety. But think about this, friend. That truck you drive, it's not the safest place for your gun overnight. It's vulnerable to theft, to ending up where it shouldn't be. When you walk through that door, ready to see your kids, remember this. When you go to bed, tuck your gun away inside your home, unloaded, secure, just like you make sure the doors are locked. It takes just a moment, but that moment can make all the difference. You're a responsible man. You take care of your family. Bringing your firearm inside and locking it up safe, that's just one more way you do what's right. It's your right to have a gun. It's your gun. Don't let somebody else pull the trigger. Visit WSJM.com to learn more, in partnership with the Berrien County Prosecutor's Office.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
7:53. I'm Zack in for Ken this morning, and Carrie Peugeot says we'll be seeing some potential for snow this morning. Just a little bit of light flurries at the moment here. I think the radar says that it's pretty much southern Berrien County, but of course, as I click on that, it's not going to load exactly when I need it to. There it goes. Okay. So we do have some light snow that's moving through pretty much all of Berrien County at the moment and a little bit into the South Haven area. We'll be seeing partly cloudy skies other than that, and 41 today. It's about 29 here in St. Joe Benton Harbor. We're talking with Emergency Shelter Services, and we have Bridget, who's here to discuss a little bit about the coldest night of the year, among many other events and things that ESS has been a part of. What is the coldest night of the year? And it sounds like, as a person who is constantly cold, I don't want to be a part of it, but you do want to be a part of this, right?
You sure do want to be a part of this. The coldest night of the year is an incredible fundraiser that we do. It's our biggest fundraiser that Emergency Shelter Services puts on. And what it is essentially is it's a 5K walk, just a walk, not a run. There's also an option for 2K if you'd like. But we gather as a community and we do this walk on the average coldest night of the year. And it actually takes place all over North America. So United States and Canada, there are organizations like ours, all that focus on homelessness, hungry, or that people that need help. And so communities are getting together all over North America to do this walk. Ours, it will be on February 28th. 2026. It takes place in the late afternoon, early evening. We will be walking around the Arts District in Benton Harbor. And really what I think is so fantastic about this walk is the walk itself is free. It costs absolutely nothing to register. But where the real work happens is the fundraising that occurs before the walk. So starting right now, today, it started, I think, in the 1st of December, but today you can go onto our website. You'll find it at cnoy.com, and then you just find the location, which is Benton Harbor, and you can register yourself or you can start a team. And what that means is that, you will have from now until February 28th to fundraise with your family and friends and network. And then all of that money goes to Emergency Shelter Services. We've got a lot of stuff going on during the walk. Pete's Cider Social is going to be hosting a hot chocolate stand shortly after the walk begins. So you'll have a nice warm cup of hot chocolate as you walk. Our event itself is hosted by the Secret Garden event venue right in Benton Harbor, which is a beautiful, beautiful place. So we all meet up back there at the end where you'll get a warm meal, get together with your community, your team, go through people who have raised the most money, different prizes and that sort of thing.
Well, we got to wrap up here in about a minute, but what's that website one more
Sure.
time?
The website is cnoy.com, and you simply go to find your location, and that is Benton Harbor. And the website is really well put together. You can find all the information you need there.
Okay, so participate in coldest night of the year. And what was the
February 28th.
Thank you. All right, February 28th. And again, we're talking with Emergency Shelter Services. We will have just a little bit more time to talk with you inside the 8 o'clock hour. So I hope you can stick around for a second. And to those who have been on the live stream, thanks very much for your participation. We do appreciate it. The Emergency Shelter Services website, essberrien.org for more information, right? Okay. And if folks are in crisis, they should probably start with 211 first to kind of get some of that, referral to a lot of these services, including this, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. But if for some reason they just maybe have a quick question or anything like that, it's best to call the office number for the connection for Emergency Shelter Services, right?
Absolutely. That's where the intake starts.
925-1131 is that number. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you so much. We
Absolutely.
love being here.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That fun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-798-3399. That's 800-798-3399.
McGee's Heating and Air. Feel at ease with McGee's.
Here's Chase from McGee's.
I went to a house to do a bid. Homeowner wanted to move forward. They had a contractor. Contractor had reached out to their own independent heating guy that they've been using for years. And their own independent heating guy came out, gave them a bid. They were like way less expensive than we were. And I still understand. I'd still like to compare apples to apples. He sent me the bid. The 2 units that were quoted were not even compatible. They were not cold climate heat pumps, so they would not have heated this place, and they were too small. And so as soon as I saw that, I was like, this is not going to work. He was able to call and confront the other contractor, and they still did not understand. They thought that everything they bid was absolutely fine, said that they've put them in all the time. We got that job. Install went great. Customers extremely happy. They've had no trouble since.
McGee's Heating and Air. Feel at ease with McGee's.
Your Southwest Michigan Bryant dealer. Whatever it takes.
From the Pat Moody Studios, this is WSJM-FM Benton Harbor, St. Joseph, a product of Midwest Family Marketing and Media. Proudly serving our community.
The sites of the U.S. Coast Guard, which says it is in active pursuit of what's being called a dark fleet vehicle fleeing the Caribbean. Here's ABC senior White House correspondent Selena Wang.
In recent days, President Trump has targeted what he calls all sanctioned oil tankers traveling to and from Venezuela. It's a move that could devastate Venezuela's oil exports. This as the U.S. ramps up military operations against Venezuela. The Pentagon striking 28 suspected drug boats in the Caribbean and Eastern Pacific, killing at least 104 people without providing evidence or identifying those killed.
The holiday travel rush is underway. If you're one of the estimated 122 million Americans expected to be on the roads or in the skies, keep an eye on storms. ABC's Matt Rivers with more on those who'll be flying.
The severe weather impacting travel for holiday plans with just 3 days until Christmas.
It's stressful.
TSA checkpoints and packed lines snaking through terminals. Officials expect nearly 53 million passengers between now and early January, close to 3 million per day.
It was supposed to be hundreds of thousands of pages. Instead, those who spent the weekend combing through the Epstein files say it was more like thousands of pages the Department of Justice made public by Friday's deadline. ABC's Jay O'Brien with congressional reaction.
Republican Thomas Massey, Democrat Ro Khanna, they are drafting a resolution to hold Attorney General Pam Bondi in contempt of Congress for not fully following this law and releasing every single file the FBI has by the deadline of last Friday.
Pittsburgh Steelers star receiver DK Metcalf caught on camera in an altercation with a fan during the Steelers game in Detroit. The referees didn't see it. No flag thrown. The league now is investigating. You're listening to ABC News.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage, no medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required. Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-798-3399. That's 800-798-3399.
Hundreds of protesters turned up in Boulder, Colorado over the weekend, speaking